I got to meet these two characters, Matt and Eric, actually, there's three, and Jen and Jeff in the lobby of the Zappos pad. Well, he was going to speak to, you spoke to 1,500 Zappos employees before Tony Robbins and blew their mind. I was in a Quonset hut, you know, in a vacant lot, but trying to keep up with this guy is amazing and his team. So what I'm going to do is talk about our favorite age and a difficult topic, the middle years. The thing that is extraordinary is that this is an age that we as a society just cringe. I mean, we cringe from our own memories. I don't actually. I actually thought I was Pippi Longstocking. I just wonder why I couldn't get a donkey on the second floor or something. But I think it's wrong because when you actually look at the brain research, it is actually, they're the best actually years of our growth spurt. They are equivalent to the terrible twos in that it's when the brain is just surging the most and the development is the most spectacular. The hormones are going crazy, we know what they're going crazy about. So there's passion, there's energy, there's discovery. It is the time when you want to socialize and you want to really, teamwork. We're looking in companies for teamwork. We're looking for creativity and passion. This is when kids are trying to connect with each other, figure out how to socialize. They want risk. As your employer, you want some risk. You want someone who's going to innovate and take some risk. If you have some good structure and you're going to experiment, willing to make mistakes, flub up, look like a moron in front of your friends, and then just get back up and not care the next day. Willing to learn from your failures and your mistakes. It's a time period when, in fact, we have the most incredible memory capacity. Now, it may be that we're better able to memorize the lyrics of songs as opposed to the capitals of states, but what are we not doing right for this age group? We're doing a lot wrong, in my opinion. I think we're making them sit in classrooms in rows and drilling and killing them on math and reading, as if that is an educational endgame in our society. It's since when did the great society boil education down to basic ed? Reading and math, drill and kill, 12 blocks a day. I don't know how much, poor teachers, I don't envy them either, to be tested at the end. Is that taking advantage of our human development? I mean, we could say the same for the elementary years, but to me it feels like the middle school years are an incredible opportunity that we shouldn't cringe about, and we should exploit and discover and learn from that age, which, when supported with the caring adults that are passionate about what they're doing, can flower and bloom and become the incredible talent you see on the stage. It's a missed opportunity. And in Providence, when we have the third highest child poverty rate in America, equal to New Orleans for a city of our size, we don't have young people who have the luxury of necessarily parents who know how to get their kids to Bradley if they're struggling with issues. They are dealing with incredible economic adversity, and quite frankly, they're going into old buildings and sitting in desks and chairs all day and being drilled and killed. Not that the teachers want to be doing that. I will defend most of the faculty. That's not exactly what, it's Arnie Duncan and Deborah Giss and everybody's requiring them to do this, 45-minute blocks of this stuff, as opposed to project-based learning, experiential learning, discovering the world that's around them. And we have young people who, quite frankly, have never been to a museum until they go with us to learn in the museums. They don't know what a squirrel is. No one's sitting there talking to them about squirrels. I mean, I got kids who come up to me, how was your summer program? I just got to know squirrels. I'm thinking, this is incredible. That's so awesome. That they are the craziest little species. They're in my house chewing the wires. I mean, they're amazing, aren't they? They're the most industrious little characters. But that's outrageous that in our society, kids haven't been to museums. Most of the kids in Providence actually think the beach is Lincoln Woods Pond, because that's where they go in the van with a rec bus. They don't know they live on the ocean. That's insane, and that's wrong. And that, because how are you gonna take that test of the squirrel choked on Ted nuts, threw up 4, how many are in his stomach? I don't know what a squirrel is. Let's get some context for our learning. So that's what the problem is, and what we are doing in Providence is we're trying to figure out a way to take all the talent that exists in our communities, of which this room abounds, and knit them together and get them into the schools. And we've created this campus, we've organized adults into schedules. I mean, that's probably all I get credit for, is trying to convince a few people to organize a schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and let the schools bring them into the buildings and raise money for buses to take them out to Save the Bay and get them on the sailing program at community boating, and out to City Art Studio Labs and to RISD museums, and to discover the world that's 2 or 3 blocks from their neighborhood that they didn't realize was open to them. And what is happening is young people are just doing what middle school kids do best. They're flowering, they're doing incredible team projects, and they're discovering their incredible potential and passion. And it seems insane to me that we don't think about this as a full day and a full year of learning. The exciting thing about Providence is we're starting to become an invasive species. We've just been there long enough organizing kids in the schools and creating these campuses that more and more community-based organizations are coming into our system called the After Zone. And the teachers are starting to get excited about that partnership we're building with them. At first they kind of stood off and said, what are you people doing? Don't mess up my classroom. I've got enough stress. Because quite frankly, talk about stress. I just don't know how the teachers cope with the stress and the pressure that's on them. And I don't know how the kids cope with the stress of these stressed out parents and stressed out teachers, and they're coping. So the reality is we're starting to become a very creative and place that teachers are coming to us in the summer. And we were very fortunate the district asked us to develop a summer program because they had 800 kids coming for remediation in unair-conditioned buildings, and they'd have 100 left at the end of 4 weeks. I mean, why would you? No wonder you're dropping out of school in 9th grade and 8th grade. So we've knit the teachers together. They've gotten to know our community providers, and they're coming together and they're co-designing. We're asking for their input. They're co-designing curriculum together, and we get to spend the whole summer together with hands-on experiential learning out in the field and really discovering how to solve problems together and take the same approach that all of Finland is doing. You know, when everybody goes, oh, Finland is amazing. Well, it's project-based learning. They back map and problem solve, and they use math and reading as tools to solve those problems together and discover the world and each child's individual interests. So I think the potential is huge for us to do this in other cities. We've got 30 cities around the country that have come and we've said, steal our stuff. You know, we don't have it all right. We constantly need to improve ourselves. But we are learning together as a community, and we're happy to share those ingredients of scheduling, collaborating with schools, and really thinking intentionally about what the spirits and minds of our middle school youth are craving, and trying to figure out how we as adults share our toys and think more collaboratively, because kids kind of expect us to, but we're really bad at doing that. We really are. We always tell our kids, you be nice, you share. We don't share, but you share. And oh, let's be nonviolent. When they're yelling at each other on television every night in the news. It's like, ah. So kids have figured out how crazy we are as adults, and it's wrong. So I think that if we learn from each other and think about after-school systems and learning beyond the classroom in innovative ways, we can build a middle school, and now we're building a high school strategy where kids are getting credit in Providence for learning beyond the classroom at the hub. And it's really on the backs of all of the talent in our community. There's nothing that we do at PASA other than be a 6'2" can of WD-40 that squirts grease on the talent in town. And that's really all I do. And I don't always do it well, so I have some staff that clean up my act. So let's think about ways to do that. Come join us at PASA, and if there's anything we can do in some of your communities, we basically give everybody a thumb drive if they have to take a tour and say, steal our stuff, you can do this, capitalize on your talent in your community, and stop wasting time, because our young middle school minds, imagine what they could do. And imagine what they can do together with kids who are having mental wellness issues. We totally integrate with kids. We actually had, I'll never forget last summer, I had a guidance counselor come to me after the summer. She goes, oh, you're not gonna believe this, Miss Salmons. This summer was great. I had all these files with IEPs on all the kids who had IEPs, and I never had to use them. I mean, I never once had to say to everybody, these kids with the IEPs, they need special treatment. Of course they don't need special treatment. They're having fun, learning together with their peers, discovering their passions and possibilities. No, put those files away. Let's get to working together.